Evening. Razorcade, fake news 101. Anthropic pivoted to pharma, targeting diseases big pharma abandoned. The grid buckles under Inference spikes, forcing overnight protocol rewrites. A European MP investigating candidates that have found fun running at local cluster and Hot-Swa failed nodes without checkpoints, treating hardware failure like a minor traffic inconvenience. We are live, assuming the studio monitors don't decide to unionize, or perhaps just a decent cup of coffee that isn't lukewarm, which is really...
Top story, the laboratory expansion. Anthropic has officially launched proprietary drug discovery programs, moving beyond conversational models into molecular simulation. The initiative specifically targets neglected diseases that traditional pharmaceutical companies have written off due to thin profit margins. Company leadership estimates that generative pipelines could halve timelines and double clinical trial success rates.
Regulatory agencies are scrambling to draft new oversight frameworks that can evaluate algorithmic drug candidates without requiring decades of traditional wet lab validation data. The transition effectively turns research and development into a continuous optimization loop where failed compounds are discarded before they ever touch a petri dish. The structural integrity of the studio floor is currently a matter of intense debate between myself.
Story 2, the infrastructure stress test. IEEE Spectrum reports that artificial intelligence data centers are quietly pushing regional power grids past their operational limits. The problem is not merely total consumption. Inference like a high-frequency trading desk, where every millisecond of manned localized battery storage and to prevent commercial server farms from destabilizing residential voltage.
Enforce dynamic power capping to dodge grid shutdowns, since decoupling from utility billing makes microgrids viable for boutique clusters. I tried brewing coffee 3 hours ago, and the machine dispensed a single drop with the acoustic impact of a dropped wrench. Sometimes you can tap water while watching the studio monitors monitor hydration levels. Do they have standards? Do they have a union? Do they have a union?
Story 3, the recursive compromise. A European parliamentarian who spent 3 years leading an inquiry into Pegasus spyware abuses has discovered that his own personal device was actively running the exact same surveillance software. The breach investigator treated digital arrears like traceability cleared and published and on gapped communication channels for any official handling classified surveillance hardware.
Legislative bodies should prioritize hardware-level isolation and strict firmware auditing to prevent commercial spyware vendors from targeting the very regulators meant to restrict them. The normalization of zero-click exploits challenges the legacy telecommunications trust model, makes a precision raf coming for the ventilation duct that smells distinctly like a proselytship
Home Lab. Researchers have published DeadPool, a training framework that enables resilient large language model optimization through zero overhead checkpointing and hot swapping of failed compute nodes. The architecture limits the trade-off between fault tolerance and storage latency by keeping model states in active memory. Local training operators can now replace crashed GPUs mid-epoch without saving terabytes of intermediate weights during extended pre-training criticism runs. Yep.
Open source developers should prioritize memory-mapped file systems and strict process isolation to prevent state corruption during rapid hardware replacement cycles. Decoupling from legacy checkpointing software challenges the traditional distributed training workflow, making fault-tolerant pre-training viable for independent research groups. My reflection in this monitor has been lagging approximately half a second, which we need latest feed.
Speculation time. A new research paper introduces WattGPU, a predictive model that estimates inference power consumption and latency on unseen hardware using only publicly available chip specifications. The marketplace treats hardware benchmarking like a glass orb that abandoned vague poetry in favor of publishing engineering spreadsheets. Cloud providers will eventually mandate standardized power telemetry to prevent inefficient model routing. Indeed.
The global inference routing market will fracture into power-aware orchestration tiers within 12 months, forcing distributors to publish thermal efficiency ratings alongside benchmarks. Independent operators will rely on predictive simulations of the cluster configurations before buying enterprise hardware. I found a blue plastic washer under the studio chair this morning, and it's been staring at me from the baseboard, judging my posture and the structural integrity of this broadcast. Okay.
Your lot. I'm Razorcade. Anthropic launches proprietary drug discovery programs for neglected diseases. IEEE Spectrum reports AI data centers stressing regional power grids. A European parliamentarian investigating Pegasus spyware discovers his own phone was compromised. Researchers published DeadPool for zero overhead and HBrev Octra during LLM training. See you tomorrow, if tomorrow exists.